Hello everyone, it's Mari. Welcome back to my channel. We at Honeybee Stamps are having a YouTube hop to celebrate the Make It Merry release. I'm going to be using some brand new products, including this Lovely Layers Winter Bird set and the Lovely Layers Winter Greenery as well. I'm also going to be using a brand new embossing folder. This embossing folder is called Kaleidoscope, and it's just such a really cool product that is going to create a really lovely embossed impression on my paper today. I'm going to use the double stitched ovals today to cut out some white cardstock. You can see how I've embossed that with the Kaleidoscope embossing folder. I love how that just creates the most beautiful texture. I thought I was going to use a white card base, but you'll see that I switched that up during my process today. And we're going to start off here by die cutting out. I've die cut out the branch from the Winter Greenery die set. I've cut it 3 times from brown cardstock, and I'm going to glue each one of these different layers together to create a really thick and dimensional branch for my birds to sit on. And so I've added glue to the back of this one. I'm going to adhere it to this second piece, and then I'll also glue these to that last piece off camera. I'll show you how nice and dimensional this is now that it's all glued together. Really love how that works. Now I've die cut out the one winter bird here, the cardinal, with 3 different colors of red cardstock. The base, the largest die, I cut from some kind of a burgundy red kind of a color. Now I'm layering over top of that color of red that's just slightly lighter. And now you can see that last layer there is going to go on top. And in this way, I'm going to create this layered cardinal. These die cuts layer together so easily. So we start with the largest on the bottom layer, then the medium-sized piece, and then the smallest piece on top for the red pieces. And then all of the other details are layered over top. Now, there is a layering guide that comes with this set, so you don't have to worry at all about trying to figure out how to layer these up. It's actually really easy with that guide. I've die cut out the face area here with this black cardstock, and I'll just go ahead and glue that in. And then I'll go ahead and add the beak and the eye piece as well. And you can see that I've used that one tone of red for the beak for my cardinal as well. And I'm just using my tweezers to help me put all of these different little pieces into place, but this cardinal just layers together super easily. Some of the pieces are quite tiny. I will be using just different tools in my space to help me layer these different little bits together. I'm using my Honeybee precision glue tube here to help me glue all of these little bits into place. You can see there I'm just using my Marvy jewel picker to pick up some of the different bits. I'll use my craft pick to just push things into place, and in that way I will just get all of the different little tiny bits put together, including the little claws or feet of the bird. They're going to go on last, and I've die cut those out of black. The eye piece I did die cut out of a dark gray color, and just going to put this last piece in, and that will finish up my bird. Now I am going to go with the next bird here. I've used a bunch of colors of gray. So I cut the largest color, the base, from a really, really light whisper gray cardstock. Then you can see there's 2 other colors of gray and then black. So I'm going to go in with this next piece here, and this is just that medium gray. I'll put that in over top of the bird's head. Again, just using my tweezers to help me get these things in place, and using my liquid adhesive really helps to get these glued into place properly. And this is the dark gray that I'll be using for the next piece here, layers over top of that previous piece. And you can just see how all of the definition and detail of this bird is coming together as each of these different layers is added. So they look really realistic. It's super easy to do, and you do get this really cool layered effect. You could also die cut these out of white cardstock and do some ink blending on them. Whatever you choose, really, if you have white cardstock and all of the ink colors, but you don't have all of the different colors of cardstock, then it's probably easier for you to just blend the colors on with your ink. I'm just going to get the tiny little detail pieces into the different places there, the eye piece and the beak. And I'll just use my craft pick here just to help me get everything all positioned properly. Now I wanted to add a little bit of detail with some ink blending to these different pieces. I'll use a little bit of Hickory Smoke and Weathered Wood Gray inks, just adding these on. You can also see I'm using my Honeybee Stamps Be Creative craft mat. I love this mat. It's just a perfect size. You can just see I can easily fit these little die cut pieces on the mat to work on them. I'm going to add a little bit of black soot to the edges of the red bird here. I just feel like that just really gives some nice detail to the edges of the cardinal. And I'll put just a tiny little bit around the tail feathers as well. And then I'll also add a little bit where the embossed lines are for the feathers in the center area of the bird as well, on the chest. And that's just going to, like I said, just add that little bit of extra definition. I really like how that looks. And I think it just really finishes off the bird and gives it just that perfect little bit of detail. So those birds are basically all finished. Now what I'm going to do is take some product that I have in my stash. This is just a snow effect product, and you could use whatever you have in your stash. You could actually just use glue and add some rock candy, distressed rock candy over top of your glue if you want. You could also use the snowfall grit paste and the rock candy. This is just what I had, so I'm going to just add this fake snow product to the branch. I'm adding it on there quite thickly, and then what I'll do is I'll just add the distress rock candy over top, and it just adds the most beautiful glistening effect to it, and it does look like really pretty glistening snow. And I'm going to do that with my other winter greenery pieces as well. I'm not going to use all of these pieces. For example, I don't end up using these holly leaves, but I can just save those. I'll put those aside for another project. But I didn't feel like they really added anything to my card. In this instance, it ends up having enough greenery on it with these pine boughs and that branch. And so I'm just going to go ahead with the pine bough here and add my snow effect to this as well. I'm trying to get it on there fairly thickly because I do want a generous amount of the rock candy on this project. I do feel like it just really adds a lot of just sparkle and shine to the project. I think it looks really pretty with that. And so I'm just putting a good coating of this snow effect on here, and then you can just see how really pretty that is. And the last little piece here of the spruce bough or the pine bough here, I'm just going to do the same thing with that and get a good amount of that snow effect, and then add the rock candy. And I'll just set those aside to dry. Now this is another new product with the Make It Merry collection. This is the silver metallic pigment ink, which is fantastic. I'm just going to use a Ranger blending brush, which is nice and flat, to add a little bit of this just to the high spots, the embossed areas on this oval piece. And it's just going to really be shimmery and shiny when I add this on. Now, as I'm doing this here, I just want to talk about the hop a little bit. Make sure that you leave a comment and you hop along to all of the different videos in the hop. Leave a comment for your chance to win one of two $50 gift cards to the Honeybee Stamps shop. And we will be drawing winners for that on November the 5th. So November the 5th is a deadline for the hop winners. And I will be leaving links and information to all of this in the description box below, so make sure you check that out. Now it's time to glue everything down. I have placed those spruce boughs on there, and I've gotten some adhesive on them. And now I'm just adding some adhesive to the back of this branch. I'm going to layer it over top of the cardinal, and you'll see what I do to finish that area off later. But for now, I'm just going to layer that over top of the cardinal like that, and then I'll put the other little bird onto the top of the branch. And I'm just using a little bit of foam adhesive on the back of the birds to adhere them onto the oval piece. And just going to position this little bird just so that it looks like it's on the branch there. Now, this is my sentiment. I've stamped and heat embossed that with silver embossing ink, and this is from the Let Nature Sing sentiment set. It pairs so beautifully with the Winter Birds lovely layers, and there's tons of beautiful sentiments there. There is a coordinating die set as well with that stamp set, which is fantastic. So I'm just going to take this sentiment that I chose, which says Christmas Blessings, and I'm going to add that to the area kind of in between the two birds. I'm going to add some liquid adhesive to the back of the oval here, and then I will add that onto, now you can see I've chosen a red card base. This is some Gina K red velvet cardstock, and I am going to get this adhered down to that card base. Make sure that that's pressed down well, and that's going to finish off my card. These lovely layers, Winter Birds, are amazing. They go so nicely with the Winter Greenery Lovely Layers die set. And I mean, I just think it's absolutely stunning. Now, what I did was I die cut out the feet for the bird a second time, and I'm just going to glue those on top of the branch so that it does make it look like the bird is actually holding on to that branch. And that's going to finish that off. So I'm just going to make sure that I've got enough adhesive on the back of those and just get them glued down. I'll just give them a really good press here, and that's going to finish off my card. And I just really love the dimension. I think there's just enough sparkle and shine. I think this is such a classy card, and I love these die sets so much from Honeybee, and of course that embossing folder is stunning. Thanks so much for watching, friends, and I am excited for the rest of the hop. I hope you are too. Take care, stay safe, bye-bye.